everyone, it's Dr. Dana here. Thank you for joining me on Ask Me TV. So one of the questions I posed on my social media platforms, I asked people what kind of things would they like for me to discuss. And one person asked about surviving grief or getting over grief. Many of you may know, but some of you may not know, about 10 years now it's been, I lost my husband to a motorcycle accident. And now, people are dealing with this COVID-19 virus. So they're experiencing death and grief in that regard. And not only that, people are dying, just from everything from car accidents, unknown causes, to cancer. Life still goes on. But I just wanted to offer just a little bit of help from my perspective and my opinion, what helped me get over, losing my husband. What I want to say about grief, first of all, is that no loss is the same. The only thing that really heals is time. And I do want to encourage you that with time, it will get better if you allow it. I do know people who have lost loved ones, family members, recognizing that no loss is the same. Losing a spouse is not the same as losing a parent, is not the same as losing a child. Each loss is very different, and you will always be cognizant of the loss. You'll always miss them, but every day the pain does get a little less and less. One of the biggest things that I want to encourage you is not to let other people rush you through your process. And recognize that people are sometimes going to be insensitive. Try not to hold it against them. They want to say the right things, but the fact of the matter is there's just no words that can replace the loss of your person. But do kind of take it in stride and recognize that at least they're trying to be there to comfort you. They're trying to love you. So at least you can appreciate them for that. Overlook their insensitivity or not having the right words to say. But going back to just not letting people rush you through your grieving process, no two people grieve the same. Some people can pick up life as though there's just nothing that ever happened, but other people feel that loss very deeply, and sometimes they can be incapacitated. They can't work, they can't eat, they can't function. And it's okay if you're one of those people who can keep pushing and be occupied, and that helps you. By all means, do that. If you're one of those people who just has to shut down, momentarily, shut down if you need to, but just do it with the notion that eventually I'm going to get back to my normal routine. I remember when my husband first passed away, I really didn't have the time to grieve for him the way I wanted to. I got 3 days off of work, and then it was right back to the hustle and bustle. But when I did finally just kind of give myself a weekend to just shut down and be by myself, and someone took the kids and someone brought me food, I was able to really feel what I was feeling. And that's my other encouragement, is just feel what you're feeling. If you're angry, if you're disappointed, if you're sad, feel the sorrow. It's okay for you to feel what you feel. Allow yourself to really discover those emotions. I know if you are not a faith-based, if you don't have a faith-based belief system where the afterlife is concerned, death can seem very, very final. And even if you are a believer, sometimes there's pressure to overcome grief speedily. But even though we have that hope of reuniting with our loved ones, or we have that hope in Christ, take time to feel what you're feeling. It's okay. But keep in mind that at some point, you're going to release it. I'm going to release this anger. I'm angry right now, but I'm not going to hold on to this anger forever. I'm sad right now, but I'm not going to hold on to this sadness forever. And I will say this, that being a believer, prayer was probably the thing that helped me the most. And I think it was the time that I was the most honest in my relationship with the Lord, because I cried and I told him, Jesus, I'm too young to be a widow. This isn't fair. I let out everything that I was feeling in prayer. And then I also, another thing that helped me get through my grieving process is I started journaling what I was feeling. I wrote down all the things that I was feeling and why I was angry and why I was disappointed. I wrote down that it wasn't fair. I wrote down everything that I was feeling. And then another important step, I think, in my grieving process was that I had to find people who had experienced what I experienced. It may be, for you, it may be a support group. I know that they have grieving support groups, but for me, I just needed to talk to someone else who had lost their husband. So it helps to talk to someone else who really does understand and really does empathize with you, because again, the people who love you and support you will try their best, but they can't grieve. They don't feel the same thing that you felt, because the loss is different for them. And that was the other thing I had to do. I lost my husband, but my children lost their father. And I had to take into consideration that they were grieving along with me. So even though I was trying to put steps into place to kind of heal, I sold some of his clothes. I gave some of his clothes to Goodwill. I tried to, take away the visual reminders of him, because for me, they were too painful. But for my children, it felt like I was trying to erase him and that I was moving on too quickly. So I had to recognize that there were people around me who were grieving as well, and be mindful of their grief. So then we started talking about him more. We started celebrating the good things that we remembered. We would talk about, his funny habits and, how he would respond to different situations. And so it became a time of healing for us, because we could talk about him and remember the good times and celebrate the life that we had with him. More immediately, when my husband passed away, I remember keeping myself occupied. Eat when you can, sleep what you can. I know you're not going to have much of an appetite, especially if your loss is recent, but try to eat. Try to still take care of yourself. Sleep when you can. Sleeping was difficult for me. I took allergy pills. They're non-habit forming, and you can stop taking them at any time, but that kind of helped me at least rest, because you can't make good decisions if you're not rested, and you don't want to stay in that place of grief. Because your mind is constantly going and your body's constantly going, you can get sick, and you just really want to take care of yourself. So I know it's difficult, but try to sleep. And like I said, taking allergy pills, it's non-habit forming. You can stop whenever you need to. You won't become dependent on them. And it really just helps you to kind of rest, put your mind at ease, and allows your body to just kind of decompress, because you're stressed. It's not natural. God never intended for us to experience grief. And so we have to do all these things to cope. But I do want to encourage you that you will heal. Better days will come. Love the people that remain. Nothing heals like love, and the love that you can no longer share with the person that you have lost. can be lavished on those who are still on life's journey with you. There is hope at the end of the tunnel. There is life after death. You can be happy again. You can love again. Your life can still be full and complete, even though a part of it is gone. So I hope this video helps you. I pray that you are well, and I pray that you do love again. God bless you.